All right, for this assignment, your files are here in our documents. All right, so the critical one that you want to open first is script here. Script. What I would like you to do, so if you want to go and open that now, so you kind of know what's going to be going into each box. This is outlined. The first one by slides. You can write the introduction. Other document you can open up is the presentation, and you'll notice across the bottom. There are then for slide 2, one of these boxes would represent a slide. And the total time for you will probably be somewhere between so on this document that's the script minutes, right? Introduction, part 1. Next to slide 3, part 2. Then part 3, part 4, part 5. Just so you know, I meant to do this just so you know where you're getting your information from. So in the box will be the paragraph that you get from the parts in your thing. There is one extra slide. I don't want any more than 7 slides in your thing. So if you have lots to say, it just means that your slide you'll have more on the one slide. You can put this slide in anywhere. So if you, for example, in your part 1, you wanted to have more than one slide about part 1, you can have that and you can just have it in your thing here as part of that. So I'm just trying to limit you to that. Then what you're going to do is to go back into your other parts. So I'm going to go into classwork. You can switch this to be course summative, and then it only shows you the things we've been doing in it, and it orders it alphabetical. So part 1 will be up here at the top. So I'm going to open up the physical connections. And down here at the bottom, you've written your paragraph, whether you wrote it in these boxes. So then down here at the bottom, I'm going to use my example paragraph as my paragraph. And then I'm going to put that under where part 1 is. So there is my part 1. So you would have copied yours and put it in there. Now, if you look at this assignment, one of the documents you have is called Potential Slideshow. So this document shows you an outline of kind of what you should be having throughout your slides. So in your first slide, you're going to have an introduction. So you will have to write a slide here, write a script that will introduce your presentation. And if you look below under the example, I've created an example of an introduction. And then the slide 2 will be your part 1. And then this is just kind of an outline of what you should have in your script paragraph for part 1. And then you can go on through here till you get to the end. And then just remember that your last slide should be including a conclusion, which you will write. And I have an example of a conclusion here on the bottom. Now, what I also want you to notice is that in the script here of my example, I've put transition sentences. So you may have to just tweak your paragraph slightly so that you have a transition or make them a little bit more smooth because they were kind of written independently. But it should just be something I'm sure you've learned in English about transitioning from one paragraph to another. So you need to employ those techniques. So once you have put I'm just going to put my introduction into my first box here. So you will have then put all of those items together into your script, and you have that set up. I do it this way so that you can see the flow of all of your words, and you'll be able to read it through. If you read it out loud, you can hear what it sounds like, and then making sure that your thoughts connect from one box to the next. Now, going over to your video presentation, all of the images here are blank. In the introduction, we're going to create an introduction to your company. So it would be good on the main screen here to have a logo. You saw in the example, they were Dark Star Industries and they had a logo there. Luckily, you have the opportunity to employ AI skills to generate your logo in a quick way that is pretty amazing. And I'm going to show you how to do that using Canva. We have the Canva license with the board. And I've put a link here to the free online logo generator. So if you go into the script here, you can click on to that and it takes you to this site. Your information that you need to write your prompt for this will be in the sign up sheet that I gave at the beginning. And I'm just trying to find under the topic selection. So the topic selection list, the sign up list, if you go to the overview from that list, you will see that there is the name of the place, and then beneath it, kind of like an explanation or a slogan. So I'm going to pick. All right, so I'm going to copy this so I have it in my clipboard, the words there. Then I'm going to go to the AI. So then I'm going to go to my Canva thing here and it says create a logo with AI. That's what we want to do. It will bring you to this spot here. So we are going to create a prompt. Basically what a prompt is I'm going to tell the AI what I want. And I want you to do this now with me so that you can create this quick and easily. We should be able to do it in a few minutes. So what I want to do here, it says describe what you have in mind. And I'm going to say create a logo for, and I'm going to put my paste in there. Snow Spark Tours, their slogan is, and I'm going to put this in quotes. So I copied that from the other. Then I'm going to add in a few pieces of information that I want to include. So one of the aspects of this project is about sustainability. Another part would be about its location, and another part would be about benefiting our community so livability. So I'm going to say in here, include examples of where it may be in Canada by imagery and how they are a sustainable company and how they improve the livability of their community. All right, so for my next steps, what I'm going to do is to highlight my prompt, and I'm going to copy it, Control C, or use the copying. Because this one here, it seems to be like a one-time thing. If you put it in and you can't add to your prompt, you pretty much have to do it again. Now, other options here, 16 by 9, that's the the shape of the box. So 16 by 9 is like wider than it is tall, the shape of your monitor and your slides. So that really works. But if you wanted something, you can make it square or whatever. Styling allows you to change some of the styling of your documents, or what the logo would look like, and it gives you these options. You can play around with this. I don't really want you to spend much more than 10 minutes doing this, because this can be a massive time vacuum. After an hour, you may have perfected your logo to the best you could possibly do, but I'm not evaluating that. I'm using this as an opportunity or a tool for you to explore some of the options that you may use in future classes. Your mark here is not about artistic skill or presentation skill. It's about the words that you tell me on the paper. Okay, so you can choose if you want to use one of these things. I'm not for this one. I hit the purple arrow and it goes off. And what I don't like about this is that up at the top, oh wait, did it do anything? Oh no, down here. Here is the logo. So you have to just kind of be careful of that. I'm going to reset my screen here so it shows
So
this.
I can use one of those logos?
So at this point, you can use whichever one of these ones that are created. This one here is kind of an interesting one. It says Greens Vacation More. I'm not sure what that means. So it's spelt wrong and not grammatically correct, but I like the picture. If this isn't what you want, you can go back up to here and add into your prompt, include a picture of electric snowmobiles and ATVs on the on a trail in Whitehorse area. So I'm going to see what that does. So just that little bit of a change completely changed the look of the design. Again, I don't want you to spend a ton of time. Any of the first things that were created were good. Slight tweak made that improvement. Remember to copy your prompt so that you can make those changes. And then what I'm going to do is show you how to get them onto your page. So I'm going to pick this one right here, and I hit the download button. I can download to my computer. You may or may not. So you might have to pick the, and then you just hit the save button. If you can't save to your Chromebook, you have to pick your Google Drive. That's no problem. When you do that, it will say it shows this. Click copy to the clipboard, and then go back to your presentation and then Control V, and it will paste it on here. Now, depending, this one is a white background, so I don't really see the edge of the document. If you have a colored background, you will likely have white in behind. So if you click and drag it to the edge there, then drag the opposite corner down, it will just fill your page. So if you do have the white, it will hide that with the screen. You put your logo in. This is the first slide. This will be your introduction. So the next step here is to hit the record button on the right. And you'll see this thing here. It says enter the script for this scene. So that's where we go back to our script, and I'm going to get the introduction. And I copy the introduction and I go to my presentation and I paste it in there. Usually you paste with Control Shift V and it just takes the formatting off. All right, so once you have that pasted in there, this is for scene one. If you hit this arrow next button, you can go through and paste the script for all of your scenes. It will just switch over to the next one and the next one and so on. So if I go back to my script, here is my second one. And I go back to my presentation and I paste that in there. So you obviously you're not finished all your stuff, so you wouldn't do that quite yet. But when you are done, you would put that in there. So from the menu below, we're going to select camera. We're not going to record using our camera because we're only recording the audio. So I click on the camera option, then start recording. It will take us to the recording window. And instead of camera, we're going to select audio. And when you select audio, it will bring up the text for that slide. And this is where you will read your script as you record this. This is why this software is so good. So there's 3 ways to do this. Rolling, which means as you record, it will just continually roll through and it will look kind of like this, and you'll need to read it as it goes down. You can adjust the size of the text here and adjust the speed at which it rolls through. I don't particularly like that one. I like the read along because it helps you to slow your pace down. It will basically highlight the words as you are to read it. The last one is manual, where you basically scroll it as you move through it. The disadvantage to that, you have to be thinking about reading it at the same time you're scrolling it down. Doing 2 things at once like that may be a challenge. I know it is for me to do that. So I'm just going to pick the read along, and my text is fine. And then I want to make sure that my audio is recording, and it shows here, it says, if it says turn it off, it means it's on. And you can see the dots here showing up moving. So that means it's recording, or it's getting what I'm getting right now. And then what I'm going to do is make sure I'm up at the top of my script. So I scroll up to the top and I hit the record button. It's going to count down 3. And then it pauses for a bit, and then it's going to show you kind of the progression of the things being highlighted. So I'm going to show you that. So it counts down 3, 2, 1. The success of Harmony Walnut Products, a sustainable walnut producer, hinges on selecting a precise location within Canada to foster long-term sustainability and environmental harmony. Situated approximately at 43 degrees north, 80 degrees west longitude, Harmony Walnut is located in Perth County near Stratford, Ontario, nestled in the heart of the Great Lakes St. Lawrence lowlands. The St. Lawrence lowlands provide Harmony Walnut with fertile, well-drained soils conducive to walnut tree growth, a variety flat terrain allowing for easy management of sugar bushes, and a network of rivers and lakes for water resources and transportation. Southeastern climate region characterized by cool winters and warm summers provides the necessary freeze-thaw cycles essential for optimal walnut production. Climate graph for Stratford, Ontario reveals an annual precipitation of 800 millimeters to 1,000 millimeters. I'll just stop there. I think this was my part 2 anyways, but you can see how that goes. Now, I found it to be going a little bit quick. So it asks you, did read along mode work well for you? I'm just going to say no at this point, but too fast. So as it got more text, it started to work a little quicker. So maybe the manual mode might work for you. And remember that if you hit the button here at the bottom, it will pause the recording. So the next step is I'm going to finish at this point. You go up to the top here and you hit the insert button. Now, if you make a mistake while you're reading it, you can go back and you hit the loop back button and it will restart it, meaning it'll delete what you did and you can start recording it again. So things that I want you to know. You are doing one slide at a time. If you make a mistake on the slide, I'm not evaluating your presentation skills. That can be done in English class or French class or something like that, not part of my curriculum. What I am evaluating is the words that you're telling me. If you stumble on a word like necessary freeze thaw cycles, that was a bit of a mouthful, or the latitude and longitude, I don't care. Just continue on. If you make a real big mistake, like you're in your house and your brother comes into your room and it's like, oh, you need to come downstairs, blah, blah, blah. That's a little bit different. You'll probably have to record that segment, but you're only doing just one slide. So it's, a minute or so. But what I don't want you to do with this is to continually, oh, made a mistake. I'm going to go back. I don't like that. Don't do that. It's not worth your time. Okay. I'm not asking you to. I don't need it to be perfect. I can show you ones I've done like this before. This person sneezed or something like that. I don't care. It's really authentic if that's the way you are. Okay. So don't be concerned about that. Only if it's a major, blunder. And like I said, somebody coming into your room. So once you are done and you're satisfied with it, you can preview it, but you select insert. And what you'll see that at the bottom, this was actually for my second one. I'm going to move it to the first one. You can see the words here go well beyond where my slide ends. So what I'm going to do is grab the corner and drag this out. You may have to do it a couple of times so that the end of the audio matches the end of the box here that represents my picture. So when you're ready to move to the next one, you click the next slide. You will likely have a picture in there. The picture will represent what it is that you're doing, and I'll show you how to do that. For the pictures, it's super easy. You go to the insert button and you select the option for stock and web. And if you click that, it opens up a little window here, mini browser. And I'm going to put in a picture. I'm going to say electric snow. So I'm going to put that in. I'm going to see what happens. And there is an option here. I just want pictures at this point. So I'm going to, like this one here, I'm going to click and drag it onto here. Again, you want to make sure that your picture is the full width of your thing, but don't drag from the side. It will stretch it out. What you can do is click this button for format, and then size and rotation. If you lock the aspect ratio, you can increase the scale until it fits, and then just shift the image around, and it will then fill that whole page. Now I should probably shift it up a little higher here just so you get the snowmobile. So that's what you would do then to put the image in for that. And then again, you would record your audio. What I don't want you to do, there is options. You can have background music. I've had them submitted that way, and I just return them back to them because it's really annoying for me to try to hear your voice over top of the music because they're generally too loud. All right. I don't want to hear that. I just want to see pictures that represent what you're talking about and your audio. Now, that pretty much is all you need to do. If you want to, you can preview it here. You can adjust where you want it to start, and you hit the button. It will show you your presentation, and if you're wanting to know the time, it will show the length here. I'm kind of wanting you to be somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes. If you're under 5, you're probably not having enough information. If you're over 10, then you've probably done too much. Okay, so there's kind of a balance here. Now, what do you do when you're done? The beauty of this software is all you have to do is exit out, and it's already saved into your assignment. Hit the turn in button from the course from your Google assignment, and you're done. All right, you don't have to worry about uploading a file or doing any of that kind of stuff. It all happens in the background. And then when I go to your file in the Google Classroom, I see it as a video. I don't see it as the Google Vid thing.